Well, maybe Andrew's is too close then, but he's way louder than you.
How do you sound?
Hi, guys. Are we live?
Yours is kind of far away.
Okay, we made it.
Oh, that was
Hey, LD, we're on.
Yeah, hi.
Welcome back to the summit, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Merlini, what's going on, dude?
Hello. Apparently my mic was a little bit too far or close.
Yeah, theory crafting.
Apparently.
LD, how you doing?
I'm great.
That's good. So we've had 2 quick series, 2-2-0s.
I know. Quickest day one of the
Whoa.
summit so far, man. Jeez.
Cloud9 looking strong. Ken, how you feeling? What do you think about that series?
I'm feeling good. I was actually doing a few interviews, so I didn't actually get to watch much of that, but it was I watched the VODs.
You get anything good?
I interviewed Mott. It was like
I'm still excited for
I heard
the
he goes
Slacks
by
interview to come out.
now.
Mott. The Mott interview was 29 minutes. By the way.
29 minutes
Yeah.
of nothing but Mott?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is a lot. Yeah.
How much Smash did you guys talk about?
Mott's not that chatty either.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, we might have to make it a 2-parter. You know the old YouTube strategy of like splitting the views?
Mott part 1, Mott part 2?
Did you
LT
bring up
knows.
swimming at all?
Huh?
Yeah, we split
Yeah,
our bots
yeah,
all the time, man.
Now I understand.
He can talk about swimming a lot. I have.
He said he's 6K MMR swimmer.
Yeah.
That's a bold claim.
He can do one of those turns where he like goes into the wall and he does a turn.
And you like flip over.
Yeah, and he doesn't get water in his nose at all.
Wow.
How does that work?
Huh?
Define laws
I think
of
it's
physics.
practice.
Okay.
I mean, it's 6K MMR level swimming. That's
Yes.
all you need to know. There you go. So I think we've got a recap of that last game from EG versus Cloud9. Let's talk about a little bit of Dota, huh? Did you get to watch that game, LD? It was kind of a slaughter.
Yeah, watched a little bit. It was that Naga Siren for Eternal Envy. Seems like he may have watched Alliance the other day. Seems Naga's on the rise again.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the recap. Okay, we're muted when these are on.
We're not muted when these are on.
Oh, yeah, we're supposed to talk about this. Oh, right. Sorry. Production values. What do we have going on here? Wow, this is a tiny preview monitor.
Sumail
You're
is
right.
going ham under the T1 tower, but
Do it, Sumail.
there's a sleep about to come out.
Oh,
and
this is a big play, actually. This is where Envy moves into the trees. He gets body blocked in here. He's totally stuck. And then, all of a sudden, Jigglypuff!
All right, well, we couldn't
Oh,
get
too
instant
early.
replay, but we have not so instant replay.
There's the Jigglypuff. So, look at
was
this
dope.
mirror image here. He unblocks himself, slithers away. In comes the Dragonite, blocks them in. The Fissure just barely misses the Naga. Oh, my Lanta. The big plays. And then PPD gets taken out. Cloud9 clean it up, and this is like the beginning of the end for EG in this game, even though it's so early on.
you can't be even against a Naga. You have to be winning against her in the early game, or else it's going to be really painful later.
Oh, yeah.
One of
Thought it was
the
super
few decent fights CG had early. They ended up getting a couple kills there, but like Ben said, they really were never ahead.
Lone 7 had a pretty great game.
This whole draft, really,
Minus
not
9.
just the Naga. It's also like the Wisp. You're going to outmap control them with the Keeper of the Light recall as well, and just get outmaneuvered at some point in the game.
It's an old school combo. The Cuddle Wisp plus Naga.
That's the
that
Alliance way, man.
Yep.
The like TI3 era Alliance.
Yeah. I feel like LC's been a little hit or miss, but when Bone is on with that hero, man, he makes it look pretty impressive.
He's so good versus Emperor.
Yeah. So, looks like this is this the final fight here? EG trying to make their hold. Cloud9, at this point, they're a fair bit ahead. They've got the resources. We can't see the net worth chart at this point, but
That was a big Illuminate.
that Naga.
3-4 heroes tanking it to the dome.
Yeah, how about all this Coddle love right here? Is Coddle going to be the breakout hero of this tournament?
Well, he's significantly better than like a Beastmaster Hawk in a lot of ways because it's up just you can high ground push really easily with it. And
It seems like teams are really valuing that cooldown reduction you get now from the Shocker as well. I've heard quite a few players talking about it. We haven't seen it all that much, but I mean, people are talking about the Octarine core with Naga, and you got the Keeper of the Light as well.
When that change happened, I remember one K-pop toast saying, "Can you imagine that with Dragon Tail on a roaming DK support? That's the dream." Shout out to the Red Bull
Brian
LAN
has
top
some-
100.
everyone's top 100.
Top 100 out of 100.
I didn't
it's
play
tough.
there, so
I think Parker was like 95 out of 100. Very impressive stuff at that
his
LAN
E-Blade
tournament.
Dagon 5 Meepo did not pan out, let me tell you.
Oh my. So, Merlini, what are you thinking? 2 fast, 2 zeros. Where does that take us now to the two teams that dominated? Cloud9 versus Vici coming up next. Is it going to be explosive? Are you feeling it?
I had a brief chat with Charlie. He said that he thought that C9 was going to be the most difficult matchup. So I don't know whether or not Vici expected Cloud9 or EG. So I'm not actually sure how much they prepared. I mean, I'm sure they're prepared for both teams, but you probably expect one to go further than the other. And Cloud9, I mean, they're almost certainly going to face Vici over Rave. So
at some point,
like they prepared for EG as well as Vici. They only had 2 teams prepared for, whereas Vici had 3. So maybe Cloud9 is a little bit better prepared, but Vici is certainly the stronger team on paper. But paper doesn't really mean that much. 6.8 for a lot of things have changed. EG just got rolled, and EG were the kings.
Yeah, I mean, coming into EG Cloud9, I would have. I saw it as maybe not a 50-50, but how do you predict it? I mean, we've seen so little of these.
60-40 EG.
Yeah, we've seen so little of these teams on this patch. That was. I was just surprised at how quick it was.
I knew Cloud9 was going to win.
You just knew it.
It wasn't. It's not an elimination match.
Okay.
They never lose to EG in those.
Yeah.
It's only when like their tournament lives are on the line. That's when they get knocked out.
People waited like a month to see EG play on this patch, and it's a little underwhelming.
There was some interesting discussion coming in. Like, do they have a bit of an edge on some other teams, having not shown anything on this patch, or?
Doesn't seem that way.
So far,
they had an online match, I think, for Dota Pit that didn't end up happening, and obviously, like they probably didn't want to show whatever strategies they had prepared. But I mean, they didn't show anything too unusual from what other teams.
It doesn't seem that way for
so
like any of the teams that haven't played in 6.84. Like Rave, we were like, oh man, they haven't played 6.84.
They could be a wild card,
and then they just got rolled.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like what EG does a lot, though. PBD's a pretty adaptable drafter. We've seen tournaments where they go down, sort of like the old Navi. They go down early, and then they strike through that lower bracket once they adapt. I think it was Starlighter Season 11 when Secret knocked them down, and then EG had that time to do some research, and they came back strong.
I mean, last Summit, they ended up, or not last Summit, Summit 1. They ended up 5th, 6th, which meant they started in the lower bracket, and then they made their run all the way. So. I mean, don't count EG out.
They're only 1 series out from elimination. This is very early on in the tournament. And other days, it's like, okay, whatever. We get last in group stage, we can still make it on.
Exactly.
But this is a completely different.
This is a bit more of a brutal format. The bottom 2 teams in the groups get eliminated. So only the top 2 of each group move on to that playoffs.
Yeah, you have 8 teams now. It's more intense, more stacked.
Yep.
Scary.
It is scary indeed. So I know my transitions have been great so far.
Let's keep it going.
My producer gave me some countdowns. I think we've got some drafts to talk about.
Is it you who's really bad at getting the cues, or is it him who's really bad at giving
I think Red Bull spoiled me with these updates about how this works. Okay, so we just start talking about it? All right, guys, let's talk about Vulcan a little bit.
Ken, would you like to host this panel?
I mean, I play a lot of fantasy sports in general.
Can you save this man?
Do you play on the Vulcan website?
I do. I didn't do my drafts for day 1 of Summit, but I've done.
How did you not do draft for Summit?
Hey, unlike you, who was just fiending poker last night, winning hand after hand, I was working to set up the Summit.
I did some errands.
Do you guys
worked pretty hard.
Do you guys play regular fantasy sports? Like
I don't watch regular sports.
I do football.
Oh my god. Huh?
You do
football? Everyone plays fantasy.
Football's not. I don't like fantasy football that much because you only set up your roster once a week.
What? If you do fantasy baseball, you have to set it up like 5 times a week.
Yeah, that's the fun part, though. Like,
is that fun?
Yeah.
He doesn't like to grind that much. He's busy playing Heroes of the Storm.
Ben loves to grind.
Once a week is okay with me.
Have you seen this man?
Once a week, that's your limit for fantasy?
Well, I like to grind a lot of different things.
Okay, so you...
Okay, if I doesn't fit into his grind
If I grind too much fantasy football, I can't grind other stuff.
But you guys did the bracket for March Madness, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's fantasy. That counts too.
Yeah. I mean, I'd just be throwing darts. But then Tar Heels good?
Then, like, one team loses and your entire bracket's
Don't give me
ruined.
that.
And you're trapped with the shitty bracket for, like, a month.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Like, you pick some favorite team to go to, like, top 4. They get eliminated the first round. And
well, that's what makes Vulcan so good, LD. You get a new draft every tournament, so you can do as many as you want. You can keep it going.
There you go. It's like with the March Madness. You just have like 10 brackets, and you just see, I had a good bracket.
Is that your bingo strategy? Just give me 10 cards. I'm going for the bingo.
I mean, some people do that.
I've never been that hardcore.
My brother does that with fantasy football. He joins like 10 leagues, and then like the ones that he starts losing,
he goes AFK. He's the worst. He's one of the worst. Those guys.
I've told him he's an asshole.
Oh, that's awful.
I mean, the ones with his friends will play, but he'll do like a random one.
Yeah. So me and Merlini have experience because he's played poker and I've played poker, and it's like the similar kind of like you enter an event, you're competing against someone else who sets their lineup too, and you try to beat them out, I put 3 C9 guys on my my fantasy team, the 3 most expensive ones, so I'm doing good.
Who were the 3 most expensive?
It was Bone 7. It's
almost always the course.
Yeah, it's almost always the course. Exactly.
Except in terms of like average points, the Vici supports get a lot.
Are we able to actually like see who's available?
Yeah, it'd be great to see some numbers. The general, I guess, algorithm or formula they use is you get 2 points for the player you choose. You get 2 points for every kill, -1 for every death, 1.5 for every assist.
1.6.
Oh, it's 1.6
Come
now.
on, dude.
Okay, and it's 0.02 per creep kill.
I think it's 0.01.
Yeah.
No, it's 0.02.
He's got all the
It's 0.02.
He's got the changelog memorized.
Yeah, that's good.
Come on.
That's good. So anyway, with that said, cores tend to be averaging higher.
Yeah, they cost a lot more, obviously, to put on your team.
I feel like assists are a little... Like they're like anyone who gets a lot of assists is super valuable in this format.
There are some supports like the Vici supports are good. I know Puppy oftentimes, especially if they dominate, if he plays something like Earthshaker, sometimes he'll die once or twice and have like 25 assists.
Zeus like supports are the best.
Zeus. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And Zai is really low cost for the amount of points he gets.
Well, he gets a lot of CS. He was a bit feedy a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so like they didn't account for the Red Bull performance where he got like 300. Like CS
he broke
or whatever.
The system basically.
Yeah. Like so he's still like low cost, but so you can like grab Zai.
I feel like offlaners are the biggest gamble because when they're on, they are amazing and they take over the game. But sometimes you have those. Well, I set up a lot of kills, but I just hookshot it in and died first, and they don't really get that much on the score screen.
Yeah, I told Bold7, I was like, Bone man, I added you to my fantasy team. How you feeling today? He's like, I'm either gonna get a lot of kills or I'm gonna feed. I'm like, okay.
That's what I wanted to get. Like possibilities.
Yeah, it's like he's like, I'm either gonna go 7-0 or I'm gonna
go
0-7. Yeah.
Tell me something I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's in the name.
Yeah, I feel like Ice is like that as well. Some games he is the absolute value pick.
Yeah, it's like if you're predicting the team would win, like Vici heavily favored against Rave, that's a good time to pick their offlaner.
All right. We've got some numbers here. Is there any way we could zoom in a little bit? We've got some old man eyes here on the couch, and
just a little.
Control scroll up.
That's a Control plus sign on the keyboard there, Brian.
Control plus.
Control plus. Get your hotkeys. Look at that. Wow, the knowledge.
Brian's learning how to browse the internet here.
Slow and steady.
A lot of progress being made today.
One MS8 image at a time.
So this is sorted by
actually
value.
This reminds me of how Brian creates screenshots whenever he wants to like just snapshot something on the computer. Has anyone heard about his method?
I don't actually know this story. Could you please tell me one more time?
It's an innovative method. I don't think the viewers have heard about it. Wow. So basically what you do, you print screen.
Well, Ken, you're familiar with the cropping tool, right? Where you select the part you want. Brian does what I like to call the inverse cropping tool, where he takes the box and then just cuts around the outside of it. And then tries to shrink the canvas to fit the size of the image he's looking for.
So he does 4 cuts, right? He just boxes around it.
Wow, okay.
And then
the rage is happening in the production.
So it's not even it's not even the proper like precise thing. He just randomly does. Okay. Wow.
I'm not even joking. We were having a meeting and Brian was the one driving on the keyboard. And we're like, "What are you doing?"
I wish I just had a screenshot of Merlini's face. It was the most disgusted, like Dan's game. Just.
He's like, I'm gonna need one of those bags that they have in airlines, the puke bags.
I need a puke bag here.
Yeah, someone told me they had a Yahoo email. I was just like,
yeah,
same thing, similar thing.
That was Alan, right?
Yeah.
He had the Yahoo email.
There he is.
See?
Hi, Brian.
Where is he?
There's the #1 support DK NA right there. So. Shout out to you, Brian. All right, let's go back to our Vulcan screen here and take a look at some of the values, see who the value picks are. Now, you get $10,000 of your play money for the league.
Yeah. And
you can pick a maximum of 3 players per team. So you can't just max out and say, EG's going all the way, I'm taking all 5. You have to mix it up a little bit.
So the critical thing to look at is how many times each player is going to play. It's not averaged out based on number of games, so you want to look at who's playing the most.
Yeah, any series that goes 3 games rather than 2 in a best of 3, there's inherently more valuable.
So it's actually like picking, like, if you think a team's going to get a 2-0 steamroll everyone, like
they might not be the best.
Actually necessarily the value.
I mean, it depends on how badly
it's definitely
they
good for 2-0.
Yeah,
but
it can be.
It can be.
If it's like 2 20-minute games,
the ideal is you want them to just crush them in a really long game, and then lose in a really long game.
But really close.
Yeah, but really close. And then crush them again in another really long game.
Yeah. You want a lot of kills, though. Yeah. If it's farmy, it's like... Because it's... The way the points work out, it's like 100 creeps to a kill.
Yeah.
So you just want, like, massive 3-hour-long,
so
100-plus
even
kill games.
Like the CIS games with the crazy number of kills and like tower diving and stuff, like you want that. So you're like, oh, Navi's playing VP, let's go.
And also, you also don't want to hold on to teams that don't GG out, because if they don't GG out, they just keep feeding deaths and deaths and deaths and deaths and deaths. There's some teams just GG out, and you're just like, okay, at least just that's it.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah, some people have like negative points, which is really hard, I would think, in this format.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard, but it's possible.
It's possible.
I've had a few negative pointers.
And the teams that don't GG are the worst at those.
Who leads the charts as far as like negative pointers go?
I don't even think they have that tracking for that.
No, but do you guys like anecdotally?
I try not to draft those players.
QO actually had a negative pointer, and I was very surprised. It was MVP Phoenix versus Hot 6, and Hot 6 owned Phoenix.
Merlini has participated in a $250 heads up.
I have.
Really?
Did you win?
I had to try it out.
High
Did you win?
stakes, man.
I won.
I did a $50 heads up, and I lost. It was sad.
You did a $50 heads up?
All of my hard-earned
Okay.
winnings just evaporated
Dude,
in that one heads up.
You love this. You love this site, and you're not very good at it.
See, I start like for a week. I was like grinding. I'm like, all right, this is good. Small stakes, margins. Then I was just like, all in, let's go, and then I lost.
You've just described the career trajectory of a poker player. He grinds like small stakes, and then he just sits down with his entire bankroll at like one table and loses.
Bankroll management, dude.
Yeah, you gotta know bankroll management.
Come on.
I went from being a grinder to a gambler.
You can't put all
I'm
that
now
into
back to
play.
grinder. I got to get more money on my account. I think I need to re-up my account, actually.
The 8,000. You're back to the 8,000 person free rolls that you can earn 3 cents.
Those are actually harder. I feel like I place in those less than some of the cash ones. I don't know. So, all right, guys, let's move forward. We've got our next game coming up here. We've got 8 out of 10 in the lobby. Cloud9 versus Vici.
A good one.
This is a big one. Now, this is a winner bracket.
Is it going to be good? Vici owned them at Starlighter. I feel like it could be good, but we also just might get a 2-0.
It's good either way. Team winners guaranteed top 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for Vici.
Yeah, and there's no elimination.
All right, so you're just calling it. Like,
no, I'm just saying.
Match is over.
I'm just saying, like, okay, Vici versus Rave, you don't expect to be close. EG Cloud9, you expect to be pretty close. But this next one, I have no clue.
Okay. So no idea.
I mean, just by
at all. Can you put numbers on it here? Like, it seems like you're heavily favoring.
No,
Vici.
I'm not heavily favoring. I'm just judging by Starlighter, which was not that long ago.
Okay, but
like Vici just completely.
That was pre-patch though.
It was pre-patch, but I like Cloud9 post-patch. They do things a lot differently.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of agree. I mean, coming into this tournament, day 1, day 2, there's just so many question marks with teams that haven't played on this patch. I mean, what do you think in LD? Do you have a favorite here?
I don't know. We got a
hey, look who it is.
One and only Conrad here. Conrad, who do you think is going to take this upcoming match between Vici Gaming and Cloud9?
Easy 2-0. You tell me.
Nothing is easy with you. God, it is really loud.
Well, there you go.
There's high variance, I think, in the odds. Like you could tell me it's like 45-55, and I would believe you. You could tell me it's like 65-35. I'd say.
Okay, that's
possible.
fair enough. So I guess let's talk about playstyle difference a little bit here. How has Cloud9 been playing? You said you like Cloud9 post-patch. How have they been playing? Is their playstyle differed from what they were doing on 6.83?
Well, it's the return of the Fada DK, I think, is a really big deal. Before, it was like Magnus and Beastmaster and stuff like that, and he kind of controlled the game, but I think the hero pool has expanded for him to just completely take over. And that's scary, because Fada has been amazing on Cloud9.
Yeah. Have they still been playing Phoenix on this patch? Have we seen a Phoenix yet this tournament?
I haven't seen them play that
I
much
haven't noticed, but I have not caught every game.
I don't think they're favoring it as much.
Okay.
At least so far, it doesn't seem
So these are kind of last patchy.
Now that Troll's out, Phoenix is also out.
How much longer than the average match length is that? 42 minutes.
I think it's a little
average match length
long.
is what, 36,
a
37?
little over 35, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That is significantly longer.
But I mean, it also confounding variables. Dude.
Oh, they had the 3-hour.
Maybe
match.
they take longer to GG.
It's because they had the 3-hour.
So
match.
6.83 was about 38 minutes per game. This patch is about 35 minutes per game.
I wonder how much of a difference it is if you just remove that 3-hour match. How much?
I mean, they played a lot of games.
Yeah. Well, if it's all 370, then I guess it. Well, no. Is that 188? Oh, yeah. It's way more.
Yeah, it's a lot of games. Okay. Teamfight participation. How is that number 2.93? What does that actually mean?
I don't know.
Does
I didn't create the stat.
It means like the average
number of heroes involved per kill.
Yeah, average kill. They have like about 3 heroes.
Is that high? I don't know.
I think that sounds pretty average. I would guess.
It's high-ish.
What's the lowest number?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us a range.
What's our average?
Who are the outliers?
He's just making this up, right?
So 2.3 to 2.95 is a pretty good range from what I'm gathering. So
is it good to have a higher number? Does that is that automatically a good thing?
Does that mean
Inefficiency.
yeah,
Get out of
you
here.
could, what if you could just get a perfect
Okay,
one,
so-
you know? Like,
okay.
You want more.
Every
you
one
get
of your
more
heroes
assist
just
gold.
It's not a stat that's about good or
Yeah, but you
bad.
could be
It's
doing
just
other
more
stuff.
about
Yeah, I
it's
guess.
like
Playstyle?
grouping up. Yeah, it's like how often do we group up? So that's like a higher number means you fight with your team more often. Lower number means you have more smaller skirmishes, I guess.
It's the pub clump factor.
We've got a draft, boys. Can we hop into this here? Vici versus Cloud9?
Sure.
Can we do this thing?
All right. Sure.
All right.
I mean,
Well, we're going to do this thing
You're
in a
driving
moment
here.
I'm trying to drive.
You're swerving.
I feel like I'm swerving a little bit. I'm all over that yellow line. It's fun working with a new producer for the first time. You know, you got to read their body language when they're not talking to you. Oh, here we go. All right, boys. Vici versus Cloud9. Game 1. Best of 3. No elimination here, but
Woo!
get hype. Visage, Undying, banned out by Vici. Gyrocopter Wisp from Cloud9. What do you think, Ken? How you feeling about these bans?
You did not bring me here to do draft analysis, so
I wanted to
have
give you a
no-
chance.
Okay.
Maybe you can
well,
best Merlini.
I'm gonna defer to you guys.
Merlini, what do you think about these bans?
It's very similar to what we saw in the game 1, or sorry, series 1 today from Vici. It was like a lot of Gyro, Visage, and Undying, and then they took Wisp when it was available. They banned Queen of Pain one time.
Okay.
So Vici will take the Beastmaster. It was tried by Ray, but it wasn't that successful. Cloud9 really likes Beastmaster though, so.
Well, this is like the classic Cloud9 opener here. Chen, Dragonite, they're ready to push, but now we see some spice. Bounty Hunter second pick for Vici.
Yeah, the DK
Spice.
the DK picks seem to really be growing in popularity. You guys are having a moment. But yeah, like looking at the Red Bull event, we saw IG really successful in, I think it was 2 games with Dragonite, and Cloud9 maybe take a page out of their book. Used to be a go-to fodder hero back in the old patch. He used to like his, I think it's Mech DK for a little while, as well as Troll Mech.
Oh, yeah. Has it been pretty much exclusively Silver Edge kind of go-to as that first big core item for DK so far?
BKB.
He just goes straight BKB?
A lot when they're winning, they go Shadowblade.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what 430 was doing as well.
Yeah,
All about
it
that
depends.
Glimmer Cape build-up, dude. You get the Glimmer Cape, break it, get your Shadow Blade, and then you've got that casual cloak.
I guess the big difference here is they go for the Chen, though, not the Enchantress,
Yes.
which IG seems to favor. Secret also seems to favor it a little bit more.
Chen's much better at taking down early towers. Enchantress better at killing people. And I think Chen's a lot safer of a pick, especially for a team like Cloud9.
Chen feels a little more versatile, and now that you can, you know, scale a bit more with the Aghanims, take over the Granite Golem, things get a little easier.
Take over Beastmaster creeps.
Ah, that's a good point.
Easy.
Get that boar. So, next round of bans, Naga and Shadow Fiend taken out. Vici actually going to delve into the reserve time here. What do you
Vici
ban
has
out?
to be scared of the push because, I mean, Cloud9 just completely owned EG
Well,
with a very similar draft.
It looks like the big strategy is like we're going to probably run this 4-position Bounty Hunter, stalk the Chen. We've seen that work some games really well, and some games it's just been a complete flop. Feels like a lot of it depends on like what how much support the other lanes need. If like their secondary support can come and join the Chen and try to set up a kill in the Bounty Hunter early.
It takes a really experienced Chen to recover from Bounty Hunter stalking.
Yeah.
Like, it's not easy. Some Chens make it look easy, but it is actually, like, he's on you all game.
It is a gamble for the Bounty Hunter early on, though, because if they have Dust that he's not ready for, a Sentry Ward that he's not ready for, if he dies in those early levels, it can completely turn it around the other way, where Chen gets a nice little bit of experience out of it.
So the bans you can see from the second phase. So Vici's scared of the split push and EE getting super farmed, which is generally pretty guaranteed, I would say, with a Chen. They can also pair it with a Caudal if they wanted to. That's still in the pool. Cloud9 banning out like Team Fighter AoE just because they're already really lacking on it. I'm surprised they picked up Bounty Hunter so early. I guess if they want it, they want it. But Beastmaster with a lot of physical damage, not really good versus Dragon Knight, and they definitely need some anti-push because Cloud9 seem to be veering in that direction.
So, do we think this is more likely to be a position 4 Bounty Hunter, or could this possibly just be your Spice hero?
Used to be a go-to Ice hero.
Yeah, I think it's probably Ice.
Oh, hi, Twitch chat.
Getting your Fiend on.
I'm sorry, what did you say about the Spice, Ben? I got
It could be
distracted.
either. I think it's probably Ice though.
Okay. Interesting.
And then what about the support duo for Vici? We saw them run Shadow Demon, Priestess of the Moon. What is going on here?
We're on camera, so wave to your friends.
Oh, okay, I see.
Hi.
Guys,
I'm
that's,
still here.
That one's the
that's
preview monitor.
program.
That
That's
one's
that's your
Lepus's
game.
computer. Or whoever's doing obs. Mont? I don't know who it is.
I don't know. What's going on in the draft? Is there a draft?
There is a draft.
No, there's no draft, dude.
It's third pick
But what
for
do
Cloud9. They're thinking about it.
What do FY and Fenrir do? Because sometimes they go like a very gank heavy and no AoE double support duo.
Yeah, we've seen how much for Vici Gaming, like old classic combos like the Shadow Demon Mirana they used to run. The FY Sand King has been a big hero when but picking the Bounty Hunter, it feels like maybe they want to contest the Chen rather than try to just trade farm, which
I think Sand King's
used
really
to be
good,
their
though.
other big strategy.
I think Sand King's really
Sand
good
King could
versus
work.
their overall strategy.
They play a lot of Rubik as well in that kind of role.
They need magic damage though, especially versus Dazzle.
And they need
AoE.
some way to stop the push, and Bounty Hunter is not going to stop it. So either you have to shut down the Chen in the woods, or like a Sand King could work is like, oh, you push, well, you're going to get hit by an early blink at beat potentially.
Yeah, I really like this opener from Cloud9 though. A lot of push potential. You've got great support from the Dazzle, big sustain, very easy sieging.
I think one of the classic like anti-push support duos is Sand King AA. It's anti-heal. It's huge AoE damage, so like Dazzle Grave isn't going to do anything, and it was like a couple patches ago, but I still definitely think it could work versus Cloud9's.
Okay. What about Rubik AA? Sort of not quite as
Rubik's
strong,
okay, but you just need like one of the reasons why Dazzle has been so good is just people have been going a lot of single target.
Maybe that Lesh Shadow Demon or Rubik coming out.
More
any
likely
chance of
Rubik.
a core Lesh for this team?
I was just thinking that.
Because historically, it's always been support.
Yeah, they don't.
I don't think Super really plays Lash.
I think it's good though, especially versus DK. Like so much magic.
I'm still waiting to see that like one position Lesh that gets like Octarine core, 3 Octarine cores or something.
3 Octarine cores.
I know, but seriously, just like a super stacked one position Lesh. We saw it a bit from Musica and Southeast Asia for CSW.
We saw somebody do it at Star Ladder. I'm forgetting who now.
It was someone on my late. Oh, it was KYXY.
It was, you're right. But wow, some fun picks here. Cloud9 continuing with the push. Luna, great for these kind of lineups. You get the Aura, all that good stuff, the bouncy glaives. But the Alchemist! Yes! I've been hoping for some cool Alchemist strats this patch.
Yeah, I think it'll be your standard super mid.
Super Alch, so Beastmaster off lane for Ice Ice Ice.
This could be support. They run a support sometimes too. It's a little weak, but yeah.
I think it's more likely to be mid, especially against the
unless
Dragon
it's
Knight
like
against the melee. Alch pairs pretty nicely against the DK, also with the minus armor.
Roaming Alch Lesh? I mean, I'm trying to think what else it could be.
I mean, I'm surprised they went with the Alch though, just because I don't really think you counter a lot of armor with minus physical. I just think you just straight go magic damage. I guess that's where the Lesh comes in. But
Acid Spray is good for the anti-push though, just in general.
Yeah, it is.
Very
Definitely
big
is.
radius.
Well, Vici Gaming has the late game here.
10 mango radius.
Track gold, the Greevil's Greed, the free Aghanim Scepters. Well, not free, but the additional Aghanim Scepters for your team.
If this game goes on 3 hours.
Vici Gaming looking strong. And then the Cloud9's like, no, you're not going 3 hours.
The thing about this Vici draft, though, is there are so many options here. Is it a mid Beastmaster, off-lane Beastmaster, support Lesh, support Alch? I mean, there's so many different ways you can lane this and set it up. It's kind of a big question.
Mid Bounty Hunter, EG style.
You know, it could happen. LC and Medusa, the final bans, and Cloud9 will have the first final pick.
Medusa would have been really good. That was a smart ban.
Do you still like that Ancient Apparition here for Vici?
I think it could work.
I mean, clearly from Cloud9, they have a lot of sustain, a lot of armor, and a lot of tower damage.
So magic damage that stops healing would seem pretty good.
I mean, but I don't know if they have that support position open.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what role they want to finish last. But yeah, I think a lot of magic AoE would be good. Not Tidehunter. Like, not necessarily like that.
Okay, well, Cloud9 get a Storm Spirit.
There is some lockdown for him with the roar.
Where does the Storm
Yeah, who's Bone 7 playing here? Envy Luna. I think it's Bone Storm. DK, so Bone Storm in the off lane.
Yeah, he's done it before. I think a solo off lane.
It's a little bit different, but interesting.
He has a lot of armor.
Yeah, it might. With the Chen, in theory, Big Daddy can be stacky a lot for him. Give him some stacks to go back to in the jungle.
Yeah.
It really depends for Vici Gaming. Like, who are like Ben was saying, who are the supports here? Because if it's Bounty Hunter support or Alchemist support or even Beastmaster support, they're not really the best zoning support. Certainly not against the Storm. Good armor, pretty good auto attack early game. So depending on who they are, he could get quite a bit out of the offlane.
What's a good support that...
Or maybe they even go like Luna aggressive tri-lane and they're expecting a Storm 1v1 in the safe lane.
Yeah, that's possible. Witch Doctor. Okay, that gives you a little setup for the Lesh. More physical damage, though. I guess they're really hoping for that minus armor. Something tells me Vici might get a Solar Crest at some point.
Okay, so it is the...
Malediction, dude.
It is the Bone 7 Storm.
All right.
Sometimes he runs really weird off lanes. Like solo, I saw him do solo Spectre off lane once. He's done solo Storm before, so it is in C9's playbook.
Okay. Thing about Storm though is if he falls behind early, doesn't get that momentum. I guess he can recover with stacks, but I feel like that's a hero that can really become a liability if he doesn't have the farm.
Well,
that
also
he
they're
needs.
very melee heavy too, right? If they run like a support like Bounty Hunter, he can't really zone versus Storm. He just drops Remnant, and
Yeah,
it also could have been like a support Beastmaster too. So you're looking at a couple of heroes that can't actually do that much versus him. It's only the Witch Doctor at this point. It is carry Lesh.
Great. How
Nice.
Lesh,
Well, that's
position
exciting.
1. Super takes
That
the
is
Alchemist. That'll be headed mid. So FY on the Bounty Hunter. Mr. Spicy, he's here on the Beastmaster.
Are you
keeping
going to
it
start calling him
interesting.
Spice?
I think so. I really like
Spice,
that.
spice.
Spice. It fits the personality so well. That's really the thing about it.
Ken, are you going to...
You're going to get on people's nerves
entertain us
very
here?
quickly.
What?
Prepare for battle.
Oh my God, I'm here.
Yeah,
in the actual
projection.
game.
Ken's
Predictions.
just like, who are these idiots, and why am I seeing
Come on,
them
Ken.
couch
Your
next-
Vulcan team is on the line.
You were like, I want you to come talk about fantasy, and now here I am in the actual.
You don't have to stay.
Okay, I'm out.
Drop the
Bring
mic.
someone here that can say stuff.
You know, earlier when
I mean, you don't have to be here if you don't want to.
I guess...
Earlier when Vici won, Daryl came out of the room and told one of our staffers, "Oh, we just lost. It was really tough." And he made this sad face. So she comes into the room and she goes, "Oh, Vici just lost. What happened? Look, they were winning." We're like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Damn it, Daryl!" And she just goes storming out. Classic.
Actually, he did the same thing to me, like either 5 seconds before or after.
It's a predictable ploy.
Ay,
So
ay, ay.
here we go. FY already aggressively scouting things out here.
You've got the Mango.
30 seconds to battle.
Wow,
That looks like a very anime-ish Luna set.
it does actually. Very fitting for.
And he has the golden Luna thing.
Who is he today? Inaba Himiko.
Who is he today?
Ken, do you know what that's all about?
You don't know that anime?
No. Is that the one with the robots?
Huh? No, it's not. It's set in a high school.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I heard about this.
No, it's the one that is about the space exploration high school.
Oh, yeah.
I-
He's actually told people about that I've.
I thought you were
witnessed
just being
it.
sarcastic.
So you've narrowed it down to 90% of
Yeah.
animes.
And you know,
It's the one where the hero wins.
Okay, so we're underway here now. FY is going to be doing his counter jungling thing on the Bounty Hunter.
Does Chen have a lot of reveal on him? They only have two.
He's
okay,
just
so they have
he's
four
just
Sentinels,
heading
so-
top. He's like, I'm getting out of here, man.
They didn't really commit that much. Usually, when you see a bounty hunter, sometimes they like to ward up like 4 camps, but they only place 1 observer, so that's actually really good for Vici.
Okay, Super going the greedy build here. Greeble's Greed level 1. So he's ready to farm.
The value
Probably
point,
the
dude.
DK mid. Is that the value point now?
The
I
value
know
point.
they kind of tweaked the way it worked maybe 2 patches ago. So level 1 is actually a value point now.
Yeah.
I remember
It was a value point before, no one just got it.
I remember having this conversation with you like
I
a
know.
year ago about, isn't Greeble's level 1 value point? And I remember you telling me no.
It wasn't great, but it depends on what you're doing.
All right, we have to check the videotape here so we can prove Merlini
FY
wrong.
looking for that courier snipe. Doesn't look like he's
Oh.
going to find it for now. And meanwhile, just dodging the zone jungle. I like this move from Big Daddy. Didn't waste any sentries. Bounty Hunter's not really getting anything done.
But they know where he's going to go, since they have him reserve reward in their own side, on their safe
And
lane.
good discipline from Fada. Cloud9 used to be known for their support bounty with Pylai Die, so no surprise they know how to counter him. And
Big
somewhat
Daddy
deal with
has
him.
also played it a couple times, so
That's
he's,
true.
He's very.
At the same time,
Very
though,
well
this
tuned.
does slow down Big Daddy, and if neither hero is getting much in the way of levels or farm, then that is a win for the Bounty Hunter for sure, especially given the draft.
So he's already doing a Lightning build, which is much better anti-push than Edict. Edict might be better in lane, but Lightning's, I think, better in this
Yeah,
situation.
you just have to get too close to use the Edict effectively. The Lightning, you can sit way back. Whoa, the
Uh-oh.
cast bouncing around. Great setup here. Cloud9 in trouble. Boat 7 gets stunned. There's your first blood drawn by FY, but it will cost him his life. It's Big Daddy that gets the return kill. A 1-for-1 with Vici drawing the first blood.
That's pretty good for Vici, man.
I would say it's okay. Cloud9 only have 2 people up there, and Chen's still getting decent amounts of stuff.
Radiant's middle tower.
So does that secure Chen's level 2? Oh,
Nice deny.
Nice deny. Yeah, almost level 3. This is working out well. So early point, is that called Penance? His level has
Penitence.
things of Penitence? Yeah, Penitence. There's a T in there. Getting it this early on, thoughts, Merlini? We saw this at Starladder Season 12. I remember casting with Syndra and having trouble making sense of it. And this is something Big Daddy does a lot.
I generally think Test of Faith is a lot better, But, I mean, if you can't actually catch people, like, for example, you have a Centaur creep and you need to lead up to it, and maybe you get a few more overload hits off, I mean, it's a little bit of slow. It got changed in a couple of versions.
How much slow is it at level 1? Is it 18%?
It's been changed and rescaled. It used to be 8.
Misery
Man,
in some
he
trouble.
is doing work in the off lane.
14%. Okay, it was close.
Almost solo kills Misery the
Oh my
board.
gosh, he barely lives.
Flat's getting excited.
Yeah, that was really hype. Okay.
That,
Tango's.
yeah, it's the improved auto attack
What is Super going to go
point coming
for?
into play a little bit.
I almost always see him go...
He normally goes the mech.
Yeah, mech with...
Stacks the Ancients,
but-
maxes Acid Spray.
But he
goes
almost
mech.
never gets Grievous Greed. He didn't last time I saw him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you definitely want that 1 point now with the bounty rune change.
Yeah.
The quadruple value is pretty sweet.
Do they have stacks in there for him? I don't think so.
Probably not yet, but I'd be very surprised if they don't sometime soon. And
Oh, Moosery's in some trouble. Grave is still on cooldown
No.
from earlier. FY comes in with a heal bomb. They turn it around, and it's Envy that gets the kill.
no mana for axes. Or
Wow.
That would have been.
Bounty Hunter has a lot of armor, too. That was ridiculous.
Great heads-up play from the Dazzle. That's like max damage that you can get in that kind of a scenario with the heal bomb. Or close to it, at least. Super hasted up here. Looks like mid, just a farm fest. Pretty even. So what are you thinking build-wise for the solo mid Alk this game, Merlini?
We were just talking about it. We think mech, but, I mean, things could change with the Grievous Greed.
When do you want to get a farming tool on Alk? You have the Grievous Greed, maybe we'll hold that thought.
Versus this lineup, probably you don't get one.
And Midas versus Battle Fury, when...
You don't get it in this lineup.
Okay.
He's not that guy. He's not that alchemist.
Gotcha.
I mean, they don't really need to like get greedy farming items,
Yeah.
right? Because they have track, they have Grievous Greed, they have good Roach potential, they can take towers. If they get ahead and can start getting kills, like their lineup naturally just gets even farther.
They need
ahead.
to keep Storm under-farmed as well as save their towers. I think that's more important than getting farm of their own.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would agree.
Stretch the game out so they can let those carries shine.
So far, the off-lane Storm is getting a lot out of the lane. Now, it is a dual lane here, whereas Ice is on his own.
Like
but-
a laning Chen for the most part. He
I
just
mean,
keeps
what else
pulling
can you
creeps
do?
out
If
of
you go to the jungle, the Bounty Hunter can leech your experience, snipe your creeps, block your camps. It kind of sucks to be stuck top, but I don't know that there's really a whole lot else he can do. And then you're also trying to deward against him, which
It's
is
an
not
interesting way to deal with the Bounty Hunter, though. It looks like Big Daddy's actually trying to take last hits here. So it's sort of a support Storm at this point, almost supporting the Chen more than the other way around. Well, they're both farming a bit. I guess he's just trying to give some baseline of farm to Big Daddy.
I think Letrex's build is going to be really important, too. Like, prior to 6.84, we saw a lot of Yules first, so you can actually hit your stun. But now I'm not so sure.
The core Leshes were generally going Bloodstone. Like Musica, for example, was doing it. I believe KYXY rushed it as well.
Yeah,
But
usually
now
just
do you
like
go-
straight brown
But now do you
boots
go
into it.
Octarine first, or...
Yeah.
do you-
I'm very interested to see what build he wants.
I think it's... I mean, Point Booster first, I think, is very standard. Even if you don't build anything onto Point Booster, it's still good.
Just get the great stats from it.
It's just so efficient.
Yeah. The early Bloodstone is really tempting because it just lets you snowball a little bit. Ice in the bottom lane. In some trouble here. Envy only level 5. There's no Eclipse. Can't quite finish him off. But gets him low. Beastmaster.
Boar
farming
saving
too well.
lives.
Yeah. 11-3. Not terrible, but nothing crazy.
So it looks like Cloud9 are winning at least 2 out of 3 lanes. Actually, I guess Mid's a wash.
Oh, this could be a big rune. Hasted Dragonite level 6.
Okay.
They're gonna have Eclipse soon as well.
Yeah, Cloud9 getting close to that point where the push will commence. Big Daddy almost gets set up on here. Split Earth does connect. How going in deep. He's got the lightning. We'll send it out, but
They can't even punish him though. Like he's able to back off for now. Hal takes a clap.
nah, Fenrir's got plenty of sustain.
Bone 7 just not very high level. I think he's like level 4 at this point, so...
Yeah. Not much he can do.
Yeah, I am curious to see, does Cloud9 look to push with the Eclipse a little bit? It seems like for now they just want to get as much experience as possible, though. They're sticking with the 2-1-2.
Yeah. They don't have to. I mean, it depends on what Vici's going to do. If they spot a weakness in their tower defense, I think they can just rotate and get a gank, kill a tower. But as of right now, like, Super's really difficult to kill in mid, and he's almost always going to be top because of his ultimate. Top lane, Letrex's, you know, not... They have 3 people up there, so that's not really vulnerable. Bottom looks to be the best place to smoke gank and take a tower, especially with EE almost hitting 6.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter not getting too much there. Actually has one last hit right now. Is he remotely close to level 6?
No.
I don't think so. Oh, okay, yeah, level 2. So FY is the sacrificial lamb right now. He's got an oof. That's something. Oh, they're going to pick on the Dazzle.
No roar yet.
All right, only level 5.
And they do have Eclipse. This could go poorly for Vici. if they try to engage.
1-3-1 build from Ice Ice Ice. It's a little bit interesting. You'll see some Beastmasters actually skip that first point.
Doink!
In the aura, the inner beast.
So it looks like it will be the mech build.
Okay. Good call.
I think if he didn't go mech, I mean, it maybe could be just an early Crimson Guard, I guess, but more likely I think we'll see the mech.
Does Glimmer Cape come to mind at all for this kind of Alchemist?
They have a lot of physical damage from Luna and from Chen, as well as Dazzle.
They have a lot of physical. They have a fair bit of magical damage. Wants to clean things up. How TP's out.
Oh, close call.
That moment of
Bender will make it
indecision.
out.
I can stun the Witch Doctor, but I really want to kill the more important hero.
Yeah, and ends up getting nothing.
He also could have used an
Always
ultimate,
tough.
so it was a lot of indecision coming out from Fada. You don't see that coming out often from him.
That was kind of an awkward situation, though.
Yeah, it was.
Especially the...
Can't hesitate, dude.
Yeah. Oh, mid lane. Super could be in some trouble here. Bone 7 initiates. Big Daddy following up with a set of
I
stuns.
don't think they can kill him, actually.
Yeah, they just don't have the damage for it.
Super's not
He's
even
already
scared.
now he's got the mech. He's going to go back in. May not be able to get the kill, but that's a very fast
He
mech.
didn't even pop his buckler. It's like, I know I'm not going to die.
Peace.
But up top, Fenrir, he gets stove. Now Fada deep behind the tower. FY on his way in. There's your shallow grave from Misery.
Oh,
But
this
there
slash
indeed.
is going to do work.
What
Two
a
heroes
stun
done.
from How. Beautiful. There's one, and make it two as Misery does what damage he can before dying.
That
Let's
is
two
huge.
here.
That is so much experience for Vici Gaming.
They really needed that experience for FY, because he was on that.
So they have mech, the bounty hunter level 6, probably not that far off after that fight, and honestly, I think Vici is going to be very strong if they want to even group up and go for some bigger fights.
Look at that Cloud9 lineup, and this is close to the time when they should be hitting one of the first peaks of their power curve with
Yeah,
the
look at-
5-man push.
Look at the difference in net worth in between these two now. It's almost 2,000, and their CS can't be that much different in between Super and Fada.
No, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
It's a difference of 10.
Yeah, so, I mean, the value point dribble is great.
It's
worth it.
Value. There you go. At least here it is.
How many bounty runes did he get? Did he get any?
I wasn't counting.
2-minute rune was a haste. He didn't get the 8-minute or 6-minute.
He did get that one invisibility. I don't think he's gotten too many bounties, actually.
Yeah. Imagine if he gets some.
He got the first.
And he has a double
He got the
damage
first
right
one,
now.
I think.
Yeah, he got
the
the
first rune.
But did he? I guess he took Revel's.
Yeah,
grade
he took
levels,
Revel's,
yeah, I
level
think-
1. Yeah.
If you get bounty rune, you
Yeah,
get
you better.
you better get it. That's 300 gold lost if you don't.
Yeah, that's insane.
Delicious.
Okay.
One of the players in the car was telling me about
classic Cloud9, man.
trying to farm bounty runes on Alec. But we'll hold that thought here. Fata in some trouble, stunned up, plenty of damage to bring him down. They'll kill the Dragon Knight with the double damage.
Straight into the pit
On the
they go.
out.
Oh, they know.
Oh,
they know.
boy.
Oh, good map
Defensive
sense here
creep.
from Vici. This
Weave
could
has
be
come
trouble.
out. Cask bouncing around. Can they find the kills, though?
That Eclipse is not getting it done. Super with the 3 heroes done. No, only 2. As Big Daddy skates away, they're going to lose 1.
No
Maybe
grave.
more. Big damage onto EE. Stun coming up from Hal. Too late.
Oh, why did
he went for the slow first. Oh.
Big Daddy, he'll get interrupted, though, and this will end up being a 3-0 outside of the Roche pit. The creeps.
I think
doing him any
he had
favors.
already cast it before he realized that the TP was going to happen, and that he just didn't cancel
That's
it.
just, man, that smoke was so sick because they knew, like, if no one's there with DK, they know that they're in Roche. And that was, like, the best timing that they could possibly have.
And they
that.
committed Eclipse to that lost fight as well. Now Vici's going to get Aegis here. It looks like Hal will be very close to that first item, the Soul Booster, Bloodstone maybe we see early, and they're going to have a lot of momentum.
Rip Hawk, dude. The Hawk tanked the Eclipse for them.
This Alchemist is starting to get out of control. This is a hero
really
that
is.
you look at.
Look at his net worth.
Yeah, you look at how far ahead he is right now. If this keeps up 10 minutes, he is just going to take over. Super's 9.5-minute purchase of mech is the 5th fastest of all time on Alchemist. Wow, that's impressive.
Is that the counter to the DK mid? I'm not actually sure. It's
I mean,
cool.
when he hit level 6, DK was in Dragon form, and he was like running at him in Chemical Rage, just smacking him. Not even taking damage, really. And he had no items then, just the buckler.
And you can actually out-economize the Dragon Knight in the mid lane and not die.
It's pretty good. They farmed very evenly. Fata gets a tier 1 tower in the top lane, unless it actually does go to the way of the
What's
Radiant.
EE going for? Is he drums, HOD?
Looks like HOD.
I feel like
Still
it's
has
gonna
that
be
mango.
it's gonna be very hard to do that, like H-hood stacking kind of farm Dota against this lineup.
Big Daddy in some trouble here. FY has him tracked, and that'll finish him off nice and quick. Oh
Wow,
my.
that Shuriken does so much more damage now than before. Oh
Yeah, it
my
really does.
Goodness. I thought he had Dagon.
I thought that was the Death Ward at first. I was like, that's a funky... Oh, okay. Never mind. And down bottom, they trade 1 for 1, tier 1 towers, rather. Ice, Ice, Ice. Doing some pushing.
Yeah, the amount of damage it did, it looked like the Shadow Wave earlier that bounced
Yeah.
like 5 times or whatever it was. That was pretty crazy.
I have to admit, these Luna beams are throwing me off. They look so different from what I'm used to. I'm not used to that one yet.
That track.
It's a good track. Yeah, I mean, they're all grouped up mid. He also... Who did he track? Yeah, he tracked Luna. Luna has night vision, so like they gain so much vision from that track.
Wow. You're right.
He's trying to go Dominator, but honestly, you're up against Beastmaster and Bounty Hunter. I feel like there's very little chance Vici just let Cloud9 like stack Ancients, farm the jungle. They're gonna have to fight, it looks like. Vici just keep on pressing in and...
And VG can steal Ancient stacks as well with Cloud, which is very scary.
Ideally, they'd have a really farm Storm who can get a gem, but I mean, Bone is number 7 out of 10 on net worth. He is in Strug City.
Oh, Fata, speaking of Strug City here, they're going to start to tighten up. Ice starts things off with a roar. Fenrir comes in, Cask bouncing around, goes right back to Fata. He gets hit by the curse, but he has
that
Shadow
next
Amulet.
level Shadow Amulet.
Is he gonna try and axe him down?
It's gonna take a while. Only level 2 axes.
Boys come in. They know exactly where he is.
I mean, he's dead, right?
Do they have Maledict on Fenrir?
Somebody's coming in. Is there a detection? Nope.
He's not getting out of here. He's
the Witch Doctor
delaying the inevitable.
Okay. Oh, they can stun him here. There you go.
He doesn't have enough mana.
Pulse Nova.
This is way harder than it needs to be.
This is weird. All right, Edict. They hit him with the axes.
he's too tanky.
He has 16 magic stars. He can actually do the same thing. Actually, he might get tracked.
Charges bottle. He's still alive.
Welcome to the Summit 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Hal's like, I really want this kill.
They're just gonna let him go? Okay, we got the boar there. You ain't going anywhere. FY is gonna pretend like he doubled back.
The hero boar.
Meanwhile, top lane, actual action.
All right, well, Alchemist gets killed up top. He did just pick up his Shadow Blade, so minimal losses
Where's the
there.
detection here? What is the courier doing?
Can we just ferry out some dust here?
Courier
guys?
is doing nothing.
It's just chilling at these.
He eats his stick charges. Now he TP's out. Does he live? No, interrupted by Hal. They may get it after all. Shadow
all
Amulet,
that,
though, it's off cooldown, but he's tracked now. He'll get stunned. They finally get the kill.
They baited him.
Woo.
They baited
him into a 3-hero track kill. That was yeesh.
I think Fata can look at that death and be like, that was kind of value.
No, Vici baited him out to un-Shadow Amulet.
Oh, yeah, I know, but still, Fata, he had like 3.5 heroes occupied.
Suddenly a Dagon on FY at 16. 16?
What?
This guy was level 2 at like, what, 7 minutes?
Something like that.
That fight top was so big for Vici Gaming.
That's a big lead for 15 minutes. Feels a lot more even than that. 7,500 gold.
And that Dagon is a great item against Dazzle, Chen, just bursting heroes before they can be graved, healed.
Yeah, even Luna at this stage. She's squishy.
Yeah, either killing the supports or just killing the Luna before they can heal her. That's a game changer.
Yeah, things just got a lot more difficult for the Dazzle. At this point, if he gets hit by a Split Earth, a Lightning, and the Dagon, he's dead before he can even grave.
They need a lot more sentries on C9. Shadow Blade and Bounty Hunter. They can't afford to give that many more kills.
At this rate, I think both sides need more detection, to be perfectly honest. Although they've, let's see, 2 dust on C9.
I mean, the difference is Vici has so much vision, though, from the Hawk and track. Like, just look. It's Cloud9 who have to group up all the time, and they might lose. Whoa, Super with the self-stun, the headbutt kill.
Easy Dagon.
That's one of those, like, 2 people just headbutt each other, and they both get knocked out, and
yeah, it was smart.
Bounty Hunter comes in and
if
zaps
Bounty
him.
Hunter ran in for vision, he would have gotten hit by the Remnant, and then, yeah, it would have been a little bit more awkward of a fight.
That is a fast Dagon. Time to start leveling it up, honestly.
Oh, smoke pop. EE does not care.
Uh-oh, he gets hit by the roar. EE in a lot of trouble here. Track comes out. Dazzle's on the way. Is there a shallow grave that'll get there in time? There is. Envy stays alive a bit longer, tries to TP home. Any way to stop it? Nope, he survives.
Oh,
nicely played,
this
but
double bore necro book. Misery forced to TP out. Cask not happening, and now the chase goes out onto the Chen creeps. How is going to clean those up? That's pretty much his Bloodstone.
He gets all 3 also. Wow. Very nice for the left.
17-minute Bloodstone. You've got a Dagon Bounty Hunter running around. Everybody is getting farmed on this team except for the Witch Doctor. Bounty Hunter is more farmed than the enemy Storm and Dragon Knight. This is the gold strat, apparently.
This is getting out of control. You look at the Vici lineup, you think, it's a little greedy. How are they going to handle the lanes? And if you are able to farm, I mean, they've got the economy.
I mean, this Vici Gaming squad, they played the D2CL Finals, got destroyed by Empire, and looked like Empire has looked really good, but also looked like maybe Vici Gaming weren't necessarily kings of the new patch as they had been for the old version, but they're making Cloud9 look easy right now.
Well, Envy's now picked up his Yasha, still very susceptible to this burst damage. Trying to get that baseline of farming tools. You look at the net worth, though. He's the only one that's farming well in his team. Everybody else is quickly falling behind. Ice ahead of everyone as the offlaner except for the position 1.
You really don't want weak links versus a Bounty Hunter either. You want like everyone to be more normalized, but I mean,
because you can just keep picking on the weak one over and over.
Yeah, and just so much track goal coming out. But
Oh, is that a silver edge on the way? Yeah, sure is.
It could be Sanji Yasha.
He already has the Shadow Blade.
Yeah, we'll see. He, I don't know, Super likes to play this aggressive Alk, whatever the items are. He wants to get up in your face, just with the Bounty Hunter pick. Like, Vici Gaming can farm, but they don't really need to. They just want to keep on taking the fight to C9 and don't let them group up and try to...
It's really good against Dragon Knight. It breaks his Dragon's blood.
They have to commit pretty hard for this.
Oh, they're not getting anyone. Look at that zap. Eternal Envy's almost dead off the bat. Now the Death Ward starts going. Storm with the pull. They are going to Grave Envy, keep him alive for now. Fenrir forced back. Envy in danger. The cast continuing to bounce. Gets brought down. Hal finishes off 2 and looks for more. Where's that stun? Looking on the high ground. Still not throwing it out. Big Daddy could be next. This is 3. Might be 4. Misery. Where's the follow-up? The Roar, the Exus.
Oh, my.
They get him to a 1-for-4 exchange. And it was only a Bounty Hunter they got in the end. Vici Gaming are clobbering C9.
That burst on FY, or that burst onto EE was ridiculous. He was at like 200 HP within half a second of the fight starting.
Power of the Dagon, man. And even the board did a lot of work there. I think Big Daddy could have at least stayed alive a bit longer, but the slow, there's just no getting away from him. You can't outrun a Witch Doctor.
11 Bloodstone charges at 20 minutes, sub 20 minutes, and time to break the base, says Vici Gaming.
They're comes out.
They're apparently ready for game 2.
This is scary.
Farm left track is really ridiculous.
The Chen was just shut down so hard as far as, and this type of draft, he's really the key to the strat.
Oh, here's a stun on to Big Daddy. They still want to fight it. Grave comes out, all heal from Chen before he goes down. The cask bouncing around like crazy. They'll go for Envy. They've already gotten Big Daddy. Another 2-for-0 in this fight. GG is called. Cloud9's had enough. It's Vici Gaming that come out big. Another quick game in our third series today. 5-20.
What a draft.
That was impressive from Vici Gaming.
They picked that Bounty Hunter right away, and they're like, we have the solution for your DK Chen, and apparently they were right.
FY played really well, because he didn't try to... He knew that the Chen was hindered just by staying in the lane. Right, Chen is not a laning hero. If you're forced to lane with them, something is going drastically wrong for your team, and the other team can get a lot of it as long as the Bounty Hunter doesn't try and stick with it. And he just opened up the entire map for them. Even bottom lane, ISSIS was able to win his lane because of the threat of the Bounty Hunter.
What does C9 need to do differently? You think they got outdrafted, or just outplayed?
I mean, they got outplayed and outdrafted. The thing is, they opened up with the same opener, And Vici, they switch their draft all the time. First time, like, it's a Wiz first pick, it's a Gyro first pick in the earlier series. Now it's a Beastmaster first pick into a Bounty Hunter. So I wouldn't necessarily, like, if you look at the drafts on paper, it's not that uneven. But in terms of what Vici was expecting as opposed to what Cloud9 was expecting, they got outdrafted.
Yeah, I think that one fight top, though, is where it went from, like, maybe slightly hard game for Cloud9 with the Chen being shut down to, like, oh my god, we just fed Bounty Hunter, like, 3 levels of experience.
And Leshrac.
And Leshrac got a bunch of gold and experience as well. And then they went for the Roche later with the smoke. That was a really risky play.
The offlane Storm, I think, would have been much better had Chen not been forced to go into that lane.
Yeah.
So,
but Vici Gaming, I think, correctly identified Chen is the key to this strat. If you shut down the Chen, then they don't have an early mech. They don't have the early Chen army. Hand of God's not there.
No towers.
And Luna's a very squishy core. Needs a farm Chen to protect her. And there were good Graves for Misery, but Grave and then he just dies later anyway.
Sorry, my producer headset sounds like a snowstorm right now. I can't really hear you guys that well. I'm going deaf in my right ear. I don't know if it's you or me, Brian.
All right, we'll do it the good old-fashioned way.
This is like...
You can take it off. Put it on your neck.
Hello?
Hello, friend.
Can anyone hear me?
I don't know if it's on your end or mine, but it's obnoxiously loud and... Okay, that's better. I can hear you guys now. So...
Super impressive game 1 from Vici.
Yes, that's how we're going to summarize it. That was, I mean, another 20-minute match. There's only so much to talk about. It was just domination. They farmed evenly in the mid lane.
The best part is they warmed up for the match by playing some FIFA. You know, yesterday they had a little speedrunners. They went very relaxed.
There are some teams that just have bad matches and good matches. I think Vici just matches up always pretty well versus Cloud9, no matter how strong Cloud9 is. And on the opposite side, like, EG always has a poor matchup versus Cloud9, no matter how strong EG is. So I think it's just one of those matchups like Vici just has Cloud9's number.
It seems like Vici is just good at picking them apart early game more than anything. Like it's pretty rare to see these two teams where Vici doesn't win the early game and seems to cause Cloud9 a lot of problems.
Yeah, I like Vici's cool, calm, and collected nature. They beat Rave, instantly run down, they break out the poker chips, they're ready to start gambling. A little bit of FIFA in between games. It's good stuff.
Sometimes you got to take your mind off Dota so you can refresh, revitalize.
Yeah, you know, that's actually something I talked to Envy when we were waiting, our plane got delayed in the airport, and I asked him about just being in a game and what you're thinking about and distractions, and he said really the best mindset is when you're not thinking about anything. You're just thinking about what's happening right in front of you and you're just reacting. You're not dwelling on past games. You're not dwelling on 5 minutes from now I have to hit this timing. You're just focusing on the moment.
You're just one with Dota.
Exactly. You find that Zen
mode.
You zone everything out and you are just, you're in the game.
Well, we got Zenlini here. Maybe he needs to share some life tips.
They did well
with the people.
They did well.
They did well.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
It's just one game.
So how's Cloud9 going to switch it up though? I feel like now they've got to do some rotating.
They did the same strat 3 games in a row and they lost 1. That's perfectly okay.
Still pretty good. So do you think they'll try a similar pushing strat again? Or
I don't think they'll open up with
goes
Chen.
back to the playbook.
I think Chen is gone from this series for them, at least in game 2. DK probably still on the table. I think the Alchemist just like really
he did a lot more than what like you would have expected an Alch to do in the last
It was like okay, well, how is he fitting his draft? And then he stopped the DK's push. He outfarmed him by a long shot. Like almost, I wouldn't say double, but it was like 60% more than
they traded last hits pretty evenly for the first 10 minutes, and the Alch is just naturally a step ahead because of greed.
It also seemed like he just did more in fights. Like the acid spray and Alch stun just seemed to bring more to the table than what Dragon Knight had.
He didn't die to ganks, and you think of DK as probably a little bit more tankier than Alch, but DK died to the ganks and Alch didn't. And he got that like Chen and with a ridiculous stun combination, and he's still like A-okay. He was even at like 400 HP afterwards. So I don't know. I don't really know how they shut down an Alchemist. And the thing about it is Vici is one of the most experienced teams with Alchemist mid. Like that is a very unusual thing, at least in the West. But in the East, not so much. But recently, Alch mid, who knows? And they just made it work so smoothly. It was just.
I think the one thing that I would like to see for Cloud9 is just stronger lanes in general. Like Luna needs a little bit more help early on, or she can get run over. Here's that are a little more independent. Like Dragon Knight did okay against the Alchemist, but isn't a lane dominator. Like you mentioned the Phoenix, something that maybe they've run in this version because we haven't gotten to cast any of their games until today, basically. But one of the best things about that pick to me was that the Phoenix always brought a lot to the laning stage, whether it's a support, whether it's an offlaner. Offlane Storm, actually, I thought that went reasonably well, all things considered, but it just felt like the Chen had no home that game, and maybe like stronger laning supports would be a good starting point for this team.
One thing that's also become like fairly evident to me this patch is the carries have to be able to fight as well as be self-sufficient.
Gyrocopter, like king of the patch as far as carries go, and fits that.
And Lushrak too. I mean, they got a stun at like level 2 or level 1 and started killing people. Like Luna, she has her aura, but she's not a fighter. She's a farmer.
She doesn't have that burst damage to bring someone
And then
down
even Vici versus Rave, it was like PL. PL was, I would say, by far the weakest link of the draft, and he can't really. He's not self-sufficient, nor is he a fighter. I mean, he can fight, but he's not a fighter.
Yeah, not that same way.
So I think that they really need that in their position 1.
Well, a lot to think about, folks. We're going to have a short break, and then coming back, game number 2 of Cloud9 versus Vici Gaming will get underway. Stick around. You're watching the Summit 3.